Today, my guest is Ken Honda, money and happiness expert, best-selling author and speaker. In this episode, you will learn how to change your money mindset.
You have to be curious about what's possible, what could be your alternative. If you're having a hard time, you have to strategically plan your way out. If you have money problems now, you have to watch out two things. One, probably you're making too little. The other, you're spending too much.
What is happy money?
You know, since I was small, I watched two kinds of people. Somebody who is very happy with money and who is very unhappy with money. It doesn't really matter how much money they make or they have. It's about their attitude. So happy money is money that makes you smile when you receive it and also gives you joy when you spend it.
Giving and receiving to attract in more money.
Once you let go of your money fast, the money can go fast and then it will come back fast. But if you have a hard time letting go, the money cannot go. That means money cannot come back.
First of all, I want to say I'm truly honored to have you as a guest on my show. It was one of my lovely friends, Amrit from Inspired Evolution, actually, hearing you on his show and hearing you on Lewis Howes that I literally heard that over a year ago. And I knew then, my gosh, I really wanted to speak to you. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
It's a great honor for me to be here too. Like I watched a few episodes and the one with Dr. John DiMartini. So we've done a few seminars here in Tokyo over the course of years. So I was delighted to find that you have been well influenced by him, right?
Oh, he's been a huge influence on my life. I did his breakthrough course a few years ago, and I'm now leading, I believe, a life much more on purpose according to my values. So yes, I do think John's an amazing man. Absolutely.
Beautiful. And I think you are on the other side helping a lot of people too, you know. And a lot of people say Sonya has been my great mentor who changed my life. So
Well,
it's
thank you.
yes.
I hope, by shining a light on other people's work, I believe are doing a great thing. It's getting messages out, not just here, but everywhere, and raising the vibration as well.
Yes, that's what you're doing. So I just take my hats off for you.
Oh, Ken, thank you. Well, look, Ken, first of all, I should say I'm sitting in London and you are in Japan.
Yes, it's your evening tonight.
It is, and it's my morning. So here we
Yes.
go. Ken, look, just for the audience
Mhm.
and myself, it would be great if you could give me a brief sort of background onto your personal story that led you to where you are today.
Mhm. So I have been a self-help development author for the past 2 decades. I started writing when I was 20, when it was 2001. And since then, I have published more than 200 books and sold almost 9 million copies, and mostly on happiness and money and how to find your gifts and how to follow your heart. So that has been my passion to inspire people through my books and seminars that I do with big numbers. I teach thousands of people all the time here in Japan, and also I've started to teach more outside of Japan. So I was in Europe for 3 weeks this summer. So I was in London for 2 days.
Next time you're in London, please tell me. I will be there. Absolutely. In
Yes.
fact, I've been listening to your book, Happy Money,
Mhm.
which is beautiful and actually really is eye-opening. As somebody that has been, I guess, interested in money all my life, it has been an eye-opener. So I would definitely say to anybody, they should definitely either download the Audible or get the book. I guess it's on Amazon, and we can put the links there. But sorry, I interrupted. These carry
No, no,
over.
thank you. And I, like your father, my father taught me all about money. So I started my entrepreneur type of life when I was 20. So I never worked in a big corporation. I've been on my own since I was 20, and I became financially independent at the age 29, which led me to 4 years of semi-retirement for my baby girl, which is 25 years ago. And during semi-retirement, 3 years into semi-retirement, I got this inspiration to write something on happiness and money, which I never thought of because I never wrote anything in my entire life, but I wrote anyway. And then I just started giving away my 5-page essays on happiness and money. All my friends loved it, and they said they want to read more. So I wrote more. I ended up giving away my 26 pages on happiness and money, which turned to be a little booklet. Actually, I was filming like, this short thing. And then I started giving away. And by the time I gave away 100,000 copies, a publisher called me, and then they asked me to write a book, and the rest is history. That's 21 years ago.
And look, you've changed. You must have changed millions of people's lives with that book, and with your
Yes.
courses, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Can we delve a little bit deeper
Uh-huh.
into sort of the philosophy behind your teachings?
Mm.
And certainly the areas that I was fascinated by is sort of the different money mindsets. Can you talk me a little bit through that?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one of the big things I found really fascinating is where we actually get our money mindset from, how, where, at what point in life we actually pick up our beliefs around money.
Mm-hmm. So early on, we observed how our parents behaved in terms of work, money, relationships. And then without their teaching us, we kind of knew what money was all about for them and for the family. So by the age 6, we kind of got the idea uh, that if our family is poor or a middle class or wealthy, and by comparing with our friends' houses, their friends' houses could be big, could be small, and they're having like multiple of cars. I had no cars, stuff like that. So since we are small, we learn what money is, and then we also think how we should get money. So and we can explain it easily. Once you lose your job or once lose your income, what would you do? If you're entrepreneur mindset, you're going to start your own business. But like 80% of us will probably look online and just apply for a job. So that's, I think, how we are trained or how we think of money and how we get money.
And what terms of that sort of upbringing, because I can hear a lot of things that I was told as a child.
Hmm.
I was brought up by divorced parents.
Mm.
My mum didn't have any money, and we were always taught that we didn't have money and that we should be very careful. And like you say, I remember being a child and looking at my friends, and they all got pocket money, and my mum
Mm.
couldn't afford to give me any pocket money. And we were always sort of, I felt like we didn't have a lot of money. On the other side, my father was very, very wealthy. But because I didn't see him all the time, but when I did see him, he very much instilled a money is important. That's all you should be thinking about, sort of thing, and he still thinks it to today. So it was almost it was almost two extremes. I had, my mum who was worked very hard, brought us up,
Mhm.
didn't have money, and I think looking at probably today's society, there are a lot of maybe single parents or people that aren't living in. That are living maybe in poverty. How do you think that we can maybe change that mindset, or actually, how do you think that mindset can actually benefit you in some ways?
So you really have to think that there could be another way of living your life. If you're struggling, you have to be curious about your potential good life where you don't have to worry about money for the rest of your life. And unless you pay attention to positive future, you get depressed. And also, if you are making money as an employee, you can start a business and just have a successful career as well. And there can be so many different ways to live your life when it comes to finance. But a lot of us are so stuck in certain idea that money has to come certain way. But if you understand that money can come whatever the way you lit it, you'll be so surprised, like, wow, you have so much money in the bank account without knowing. And then some people who have the same background having a hard time make both ends meet. It's because of your financial mindset about your life. So you can always change it.
And are there any tips that you would say on how to change it?
Of course, as I said, you have to be curious about what's possible, what could be your alternative. If you're having a hard time, you have to strategically plan your way out. If you have money problems now, uh, you have you have to watch out two things. One, probably you're making too little. The other, you're spending too much. So you have to raise your income, and also you have to decrease your expenses. So a lot of financially challenged people spend money for nothing. So because of the stress. So my affirmation or mantra uh, that I can give to you
Mm.
is, am I going to die tomorrow if I don't buy it today? In other words, if I don't buy it today and if I die tomorrow, that's a must item you have to have. But most of the things that you don't have to buy today, and you're not going to die tomorrow. So if you just ask yourself next time when you want to buy something, am I going to buy it? Am I going to die tomorrow if I don't buy today? Probably not.
Mm.
So you should postpone buying that thing until you have enough money in the bank account. So if you have a new habit of spending, and also if you have a new habit of earning money, you have more money at the end of every month, and then you can finally plan your way out.
And there may be some people watching, or maybe some people are thinking, well, okay, that's great if you have money, but there are, particularly now that there are certain people that just don't have any money and are really struggling.
Mhm.
Which I guess it's a lot harder for them to just stop spending money if it's on essential things. Is there any sort of advice there, in terms of maybe mindset that people should be listening to this and maybe thinking, okay, if you really think there's nothing else you can do, what could you do?
I think you have to depend on people's kindness, generosity. Government may have some assisting program, and also you could ask for help from your neighbors, your parents, or somebody that they care about you, and that would be your first start. And also, you have to understand why you ended up being where you are.
Hmm.
You may have done something wrong financially. That's how usually people get into this pitfall of financial struggle. And you have to plan your life accordingly so that you can find your safe self out. And of course, you can get depressed, but nothing is going to change. So I'm not God, so I cannot change your life. But if you want to change it, you can do it in a matter of a few months. And then after getting out of this tough place, you can start planning your life. But if you cannot find help, you have to find your way out by yourself. And that's always hard. But unless you do it, you just stay stuck forever. And is that what you want for you and your family? And then you have to make a decision to take some actions.
One of the lovely things that I've heard you talk about is how much money we actually need, and actually the security around money and your friends. I'd love you to tell your little anecdote about if you fall on bad times, how
Mhm.
important sort of your network is, your friend network is.
Yeah, so people ask me, Ken, why don't you have like fear of money and anxiety around money? It's that even if I lose everything, just say I lost everything now, and then I just the other day I counted how many friends I have, and I counted more than 40 or 50. So if I lost everything, I would come to my friend number one and say, Sonia, can I stay with you for 1 week? And then second week, I'll visit my friend number two, number three, and number four. There are only 50 weeks, in the whole year. So after spending 50 with 50 friends, you can come back to your friend number one after 1 year and then say, hey, Sonia, it's been a year. Can I stay with you another week? So I realized that I am financially free because I have many enough friends.
I personally love that. Even to the point of I nearly wrote down the 50 people and I would
Or,
actually, I would actually challenge anyone to do that because it does really then lift this. If you do have a worry mindset,
uh-huh.
what's the worst thing that can happen?
But people challenge me, Ken, I don't have 50 friends. So you can have 12 friends who let you stay for 1 month. The same thing.
I love it. I love it. Well, I guess that brings me on to the title of the book, Happy Money. And what is happy money, Ken? Because it's a beautiful expression, and I think it's quite a challenging expression, actually. Not to myself anymore, but I think a lot of people are going again, going back to what we believe about money. There's a lot of people that believe money is the root of all evil. So to put
Mhm.
happy and money together, in some people's eyes, would be a very strange thing to put
Right.
together.
Since I was small, I watched two kinds of people. Somebody who is very happy with money and who is very unhappy with money. It doesn't really matter how much money they make or they have. It's about their attitude. So happy money is money that makes you smile when you receive it and also gives you joy when you spend it. Whereas 95% of us are in the struggle of money. When we receive a check, when we receive money, we feel frustrated because we feel like that's not enough. And then when we pay bills, also frustrated or sometimes depressed because it's not enough. So even if we make the same amount and the bills are the same, but still we feel very differently because it's how we relate to money. And the way you feel toward money becomes different, your life will feel different. So my suggestion is to you is you can transform your relationship with money by looking at from a different angle.
Okay, so well, I guess that the question there is just is what angle should we be looking at money?
Yeah.
Because as I say, and I've changed my views on this. I'm sort of playing devil's advocate a little
Hmm?
bit,
Yes, sure.
but I know a lot of people. Well, there are a lot of people that obviously love money, but
Hmm.
there's the other side that people are like, no, money isn't everything, and that there's more to life than money, and you do have this. We shouldn't talk about money. Back in the old days, not the old days. I am showing my age now, but we didn't. A lot of people didn't used to talk about money. It was a considered a bad subject, a little bit like sex, I guess, in certain cultures. People just don't talk about money. I think it's maybe different now, but yes, please tell me how can we change that sort of, or what do we do about getting that happy mentality around money?
Yeah, so there are two things. When you receive money, that means somebody chose you to give money to. Say if you're working for a company, they chose you as their employee. And if you're working freelance, they chose you out of 20,000 other coaches. They chose you to be their coach. So there are so many reasons for you to appreciate them for giving you the money, giving you the work, because that's how you got paid. So you can appreciate your boss, your company that you're working for, or your clients. Thank you so much for your business. Without this money, I cannot pay for the food, pay for the electricity and all that. So thank you for trusting me. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for giving me the money. And when you feel that, you really feel warm. You feel very open to your clients, and your clients would feel it, and then they are more likely to give you more clients. It happened to me a few times, and I did even an experiment. I
Mhm.
divided my clients into two groups. One, I brought small something or just say thank you more than the first group, and the first group I didn't do anything. And 6 months later, with the group, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do anything. I got some referrals. It's okay. But the second group, I always brought something nice, something appreciation, like a little gift. And I got so many referrals from the second group. It's because I showed my appreciation for the business. So they thought, okay, if he appreciates us, we should send more clients to them. So I got more referrals. So when you appreciate, they appreciate you back. And the same thing can happen when you pay bills. When you pay at the restaurant or cashier, you can say, thank you for the food. Thank you for the service. Thank you for the thing that I'm buying. I was looking for stuff like this. I love this cup, or like one of the cups come from UK. I brought it from UK. And thank you for this. These days it's hard to find something made in UK. So
That's
wow,
true.
I found it. So I appreciated the person for giving me the opportunity to buy the cup. So they were very happy. So we're both happy. So you can spend your money that way. So by appreciating both money coming in and going out, you can start the cycle of appreciation. And when appreciation happens, you are more vibrant. And then somehow you attract more opportunities, more happy money into your life.
Um, so I guess up until a couple of years, a few years ago, um, I wasn't much of a spender, believe it or not. So
Hmm.
I make money, I invest in money.
Hmm.
And it was really interesting listening to the different money types and money personalities.
Yes.
You define the money personalities, and I sort of held on to my money.
Hmm.
I guess I always was thinking about the future. What if,
Hmm.
what if, what if? And it wasn't until a couple of years ago, actually, when I started working with a money mindset coach.
Hmm.
And he really helped me with that whole thing. And the one thing that I found, or the one thing that I've changed, is that I now spend money, and not frivolously,
Hmm.
but I don't hold it like I used to. Does that make sense? And uh, it feels good. But
Hmm.
can you explain a little bit more about why that would attract money in? Because it really
Yes.
sort of has. It's really strange because it's sort of counterintuitive. You think if you spend money, you're gonna have less money, so you want to keep
Right.
hold of it. But actually, it's the opposite. I don't-
Yeah. It's because you have less attachment to money. You
Mm.
know, the same goes with relationship. If you're attached to somebody, don't go. You try to hold on. The other
Oh, I've made
person
that
is
mistake as well.
don't hold on to me. So if you let go of the person, you become more attractive.
Yeah.
So I think if you have less attachment, things go fast. Things go happen faster, and then you feel less worried about the thing because you let go of it easily. That means subconsciously you knew that you were going to get it soon. So if you just have a hard time letting go, that means in your heart that it may be hard for you to get the money again. So like by sending By letting go of money easily, you're sending a message to your subconscious that you will get the money very quickly. So by letting go of attachment, somehow you receive money, but that's a law of universe. And that's what I was taught by my mentors. So that's how letting go of money is the fastest way to get your money back.
I think that's so important. I just want, can you repeat that again? Because that's like so fundamental for people to hear.
Right. Yeah. Once you let go of your money fast, the money can go fast and then it will come back fast. But if you have a hard time letting go, the money cannot go. That means money cannot come back.
Yeah.
So if you let go of money fast, it's I feel like it's an angel. You know, money is an angel. Just send your money angels out of your home, and you can say you can bless them, bless as many people as you want, and then come back to me with more angels. And they say like ding, 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 and then they're flying, and then they're gonna fly back to me. That's how
Oh,
I feel with me.
I love that. I absolutely love that, and I do think it's so true. And another thing you said is that it's deep down in the subconscious, and that you're sort of by doing this, you're letting your subconscious know that you're going to receive money, and it's going to come back in again. I think a lot of people though do have blocks around money, and we've talked about some of them forming from childhood, from how we're brought up. How can we sort of remove some of those common blocks?
Yeah,
Can we sort of
there's
resolve them?
there are so many techniques that I have developed over the past 20 years. The easy one is when you're afraid of money, just focus on your breathing. You know, when you think of money, it's like inhaling and exhaling. So it's like when you receive money, when you make money, you're inhaling the air. And then when you inhale air in your lungs, and would you worry about letting go of your breath because you may not be able to get your air back? You know, we do it very automatically. So do it consciously. Breathe in and hold it, let it out. By letting out, you can breathe in more. So once you're just a little bit worried about money or afraid of money, just breathe out. That's like letting go of money. And then automatically money comes in. So breathe in and out air as if money is that easy.
Wow, that's I'm sure some people will think, I mean, I love that because I think it is, there's something about releasing something deep down. And sometimes we sort of spend time on thinking, oh gosh, how do I do this? How do I do this? And the more we're thinking about what to do about it, we're sort of causing that, I think, maybe putting more tension around the block.
Mhm.
Rather than just, like you say, just letting go, which sometimes can be the hardest thing, though.
Yeah, so trusting is the hardest part of our life, and it's not just with money. It's about anything. You know, we always have a choice of choosing a happy future and a happy future, 50-50. But we tend to choose our negative future in our imagination, so we will not get disappointed. If we imagine a positive future, and then if that didn't happen, we'd get disappointed. So by trying to avoid the disappointment in the future, by imagining a good future, and then it didn't happen, and then I'll get depressed, I choose the bad one first. And then instead of just feeling like, uh, wow, like, you know, the worst didn't happen, now I feel good. So you want to feel good about the bad things didn't happen. So, you know, it's like we're always trading in our mind. You know, do we want to get depressed by the best thing didn't happen? Or do you want to feel relieved that the worst thing didn't happen?
And is there a right or wrong way to look at it? Because I can hear my father actually saying this to me. He always said, always look on the bad. Always, if you can deal with the bad,
Hmm.
then the good thing will be a good surprise. So always think
Yeah.
about the worst thing that can happen. If you can deal with that, then you're good. But I don't know if
Yes.
that's the best.
Well, it's your preference. My teaching uh, has a very essential things, and then the most important thing is don't judge if it's good or bad, because one thing that looks good turns out to be bad, and one thing that looks bad could become very good later on. So you'll never know. So don't judge by the book cover.
I love that. I love that. That we've sort of touched on a few points here where I would say it's sort of linking money and spirituality. What are your views? Because it's about money being spiritual, or is there a spiritual side of money?
Yes, money is just a neutral energy when you look at it closely. It can be good, it can be bad. It's like chameleon, or it's how you want it to be. So my favorite question back to you is, if money was a person, who would it be? Is that a happy person? Was that a scary person? If money was a person, happy people say, oh, that's a friendly, person who just want to do good. And if you are always having money issues, money can be a bad-tempered assassin or very abusive husband.
I see it as a sort of confident, determined character. I don't know if that's
Mhm.
what that means. A sort of like confident and yeah, a sort of determined, somebody that's got a lot of determination and confidence in them.
Right. So when you have that in your image, you may feel like you're not doing the right thing,
Ah,
because
aha,
that person will decide if you did it right or did it wrong.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So I can tell so much about how people think by getting the answers. So ideal situation is money, say money can be an angel who doesn't judge you for who you are. Wouldn't that be more
Yes,
liberating than
absolutely.
than very tough guy?
Yeah. So I need to change my money. I have to look at changing my persona, my who that
Hmm.
person is.
Right. And if you can do that, just imagine, like for you, money can be a smiling angel who's smiling at you, whatever you do. Wouldn't that be more liberating?
Definitely, definitely. And I don't think I never think money. So I never think of money as sort of good or bad. Uh,
Hmm.
I, I know that I'm very money motivated. I don't know. Do you have sort of personality tests to decide whether you're, because I know you talk about money warriors,
Yes.
money makers. Is there
Uh-huh.
sort of a few questions we can ask the
Yes.
audience, or you can ask me, that would determine my own sort of character, my own
Right. I mean, you
money?
can find out who you are on my website. It takes about like 20 different questions. By answering, those questions, it'll tell you it's free of charge, like what kind of personality you are. You can be a spender, you can be a warrior, but probably by, without taking a quiz, because if you always love spending money, that you're a spender. And if you worry about money, you're a warrior. And if you're a saver, you don't go out for party. And if you're a gambler, you always gamble. So you kind of know who you are.
And if you're a bit of, I think I'm a bit of a mixture in all of them,
Yes,
but
everyone.
I do know I regularly check my bank account and my investments
Mhm.
regularly. I'm regularly
Yeah,
looking at it.
yeah. So you just want to make sure that money can bring you security and safety. Because if money, how much ever that is, if money means security for you, you don't have to check it all the time. So you probably think money can protect you, money can give you some safety. So once you think of that,
Yes.
you will turn, it'll flip back to you, and by you feeling like, what if this money is gets lost? What if my money goes down? So what if? So if you just have neutral feeling uh, with money, you can be very free.
I think that's that in itself, because I think there are so many people, especially in today's day and age with things going on in the economy, people are constantly looking at the news, and the news is always negative anyway. And we're being bombarded by, house prices are going up, prices of petrol, and it's a constant telling our conscious that things are not good, that our money isn't inflation's so high, super high in the Western world, and we don't get as much for our pound or our yen as we used to do. So I think there's a lot of fear out there, and the way I just sort of stop listening to the news sometimes, because I think it's, well, I don't want to let that in.
Mm-hmm.
um eh, it would be, and it's sort of, it would be good to hear how we can sort of counteract those voices, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right. But if you just pay less attention to what's going on in the world, you may not know there could be an earthquake on the other side of the planet, and it could hit you. What's happening in China could wipe you out financially in a matter of 36 hours. So I think more than ever, you have to pay much attention to what's going on in the world, because without your knowledge, you could lose everything. Like in China, all the wealthy people's, in like an equivalent to Merrill Lynch, they got shut down, and stuff like that could happen elsewhere in the world. And if that happens, are you well prepared, financially, emotionally? And then when that happens, if you're prepared, okay, today's a rainy day, you can smile. But if you're not prepared, and then it could be a big shock. Some people could have a heart attack because you take it so physically.
Yes, yes. I guess then it's becoming intelligent around money and diversifying your income to make sure. And I guess with that leads me on, I guess, to how you actually become financially free. Because I
Mm-hmm.
think most people would say, or put their hands up, who wants to be financially free? And that is that a lot of people say, well, how do I become financially free?
Mm-hmm.
What would your answer to that be? Is there an easy
Oh,
way?
there are many ways. There can be so many fun ways to do it. I teach the easiest one. If you're not born with a Rockefeller family, you have only you as an asset, right? So you have to make good use of you, either by labor, by your intelligence. You have to come up with some ways to make money. And I think for a regular person, the best way to make money is do what you love. By doing what you're good at, what you're excited, what you can put your heart into it, you can be successful. So for me, writing and speaking were the two most powerful gifts I had. For others, it could be listening, it could be connecting people, it could be selling, it could be cooking. I don't know what you're good at, but by doing what you love and what you're good at, you can get paid more. And by just pursuing a career in the area of your love, you can be very, very successful. And I think that's the best and the shortest way to become financially independent.
What would you say if people are struggling in that area and they're trying to pursue their passions? Maybe they're a singer or an artist, or maybe doing a podcast like this, and
Right.
yet they're putting a lot of their own money in, but they're not finding it coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I wrote a few books in Japanese. One of the title is "Do What You Love and Make Sure Money Follows You," because a lot of people forget the second part. You know, a lot of people do what you love part, but they forget to make sure that money is following you from behind.
So how do you
That's
make
what
sure? How do you make sure you've got that money following you?
you have to have a system set up so people can support you. You don't have to have like a million followers to be able to support your life. For example, I have one of the largest online salons in Japan, and I teach people how to do it. For example, if you have 300 people who support what you do from the bottom of their heart, and then send, say, £50 a month because they love you so much. You make a £15,000 a month. That will be a sufficient income unless you live in the center of London, right? So
Yes.
you could have 100 people or 150 people. But my point is that if you have about 100 to 300 people who love you, support you, because they like and respect what you do, you don't have to worry about money for the rest of your life. And if you have more than that, that will add your financial security. But the important thing is just don't do what you love. You have to do it in a way that people love you. It's not,
Mm.
give and take. I give you this, so, give me this. It's about your total surrender. You surrender to life, and then life will give you back something. And then if you are in this share 100%, if you're lucky, you get supported by many people.
I love this idea, not idea. I love the word surrender and letting go and detachment. I think those are beautiful words, but I think sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, especially when we live, or certainly some of us come from a very much a doing or work hard, and I was taught from an early age, you got money if you worked hard. The harder you worked, more money will come. I'm not so sure that's the truth, actually. Now,
But it has some truth in it. But
absolutely,
for example, if you're kind to other people, the money will come to you. That has some truth in it too.
yes, yeah.
So, how do you want to live your life? Like for me, doing what I love brings me so much energy and so much love and peace. And then at the same time, I make a lot of money by doing that. It's because of the love I poured, people responded. So, for me, the more love and generosity you just express in the world, the more love and more generosity will come back to you. So that's how I have experiencing because that's how I have living my life for the past 20 years. You can create your own life depending on what you think. For the past 20 years, I was always in giving and giving and giving. I gave away this booklet, physical booklet to more than 2.3 million people, the physical ones,
Wow.
which cost me about £3 million.
Yeah, so you were producing it and giving it for free.
Yes, but look what I got. I almost sold 9 million copies of my books. And then the royalties alone brought me about 13 million euros or pounds. So like I got 10 million pounds more by giving. So I think I have proved that giving works. But
That,
some
yeah,
people, some people believe it, other people don't believe it. It's okay. It's whatever you believe becomes reality. That's as far as I can go. I'm not in a position of persuading you. If you feel like, oh, if Ken did it, I want to do it too. You can do it. And if you feel like, oh, maybe he's special, I don't think I can do it, you cannot.
when you give from your heart,
Mhm.
and you're giving from a good place, then it raises
Yes,
your own vibration as well. So I guess that's back to happy money because you're giving your happy money. Is that?
right. And also, plus, as I said again, you have to have a system set up so people can give you back.
Now in England, maybe not just in England, maybe we'll go further afield. Some people aren't, and I know I can be guilty of this sometimes, of receiving.
Mhm.
We might be able to give, but some of us aren't that great at
Right.
receiving. And I'm
Yes.
thinking of, a typical one for me would be a compliment. There's a standard thing here. You might say to a woman or a man, oh, you look lovely today, or isn't that a beautiful shirt? And our instant, I don't know if this is a British thing, our instant thing is, oh, what, this cheap thing? Oh, this is nothing. you know, we sort of put ourselves down.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, we are all the same. I think Japanese have they share the same thing. And then here's the thing: are you willing to receive? Because receiving is part of giving. By you receiving, you can make other people feel good. For example, Sonya, you're beautiful. And if you feel like, no, 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 I feel bad. But if you say, thank you, I
Yeah,
feel good
thank you.
too. So by you receiving well, I feel the joy of a giver. So by you receiving well, I can get to enjoy the joy of the giver. So next time when somebody offers you something, uh, instead of just feeling guilty of receiving, just imagine this is a great opportunity for me to give the joy of the giver to this person by your receiving. So by your receiving next time, you can give this person a complete joy of receiving. And that way, your cycle of giving and receiving completes. And once it completes, it, the cycle gets faster and faster. And that is the law of abundance. And I've written a few books on this, but hopefully, whoever is watching this, I hope you get it because that's how it works. Once you are totally surrendering yourself to sharing, they'll take good care of you.
I love this. That's something that I'm really, focusing in. It's that sort of almost, I want to say circle of life, but money circle,
Mhm.
like you say, the giving, the
Yes.
receiving, and the total surrender of it all. You mentioned the law of abundance there. I mean, the law of attraction certainly is a manifestation, has been all out there, and having watched The Secret a number of times. People used to say if you write check out and
Hmm.
post it, you'll receive it back. What are your
Hmm.
sort of views around the law of attraction and attracting money in? Is there Do you have some rules around how to attract money in?
So you have to become a magnet for
Mm.
the thing you attract. If you become a warrior, you attract worries or something that you want to worry about. So if you want to manifest abundance, you have to be the magnet for abundance. That means that you have to be giving in order to be receiving. That's why I'm saying the same thing. Like if you want to receive, you have to be the giver because giving and receiving the same energy. If you want to take, nobody wants to give to you. So it's the same thing. Once you're in a fear mode, you attract only the fearful things. So once you want to enjoy peace, abundance, prosperity, you have to become that energy. You have to become the magnet. And then you can attract the same quality as you have.
Yeah, that is so true, becoming a magnet. Um, just in terms of a few of your sort of golden rules,
Mhm.
do you have sort of golden rules that rules around money that you'd say, okay, keep sort of these are the sort of few golden rules that you would follow,
Mhm.
that you should follow?
So the more you give, the more you receive. I was doubtful about this 25 years ago, but now I cannot have no doubt because I proved it, and at least a few thousand friends of mine have proved it. And I'm just, and people thought that's only in Japan, but now I'm seeing it everywhere. So I think the more you give, the more you receive. So just enjoy it. Just you don't have to give so much money or so much anything. You start giving little thing, and then you receive little thing. So you receive a little bit more, and then you receive it a little bit more. So by enjoying giving and receiving, you're going to really feel this rule. And once you get this rule, your life can be so much fun.
Wow, I love it. Love it. Oh my gosh. Ken, I feel like I've learned so much in our conversation together. What does the future hold for you? I mean, you've already done so much for people with your books, your courses. I'd just like to tell everyone I went to your website. We'll put a link in, and there is an abundance of information on there, including
Mhm.
various different courses and free information, like you say, the money mindset personality
Yeah,
test, which I found fascinating.
that's fun.
What does the future hold for you, Ken?
So, writing and speaking gives me so much joy. So I'm going to publish my next English book in May 24,
And
which,
what's are we allowed to know what the title is?
yes, yeah, the title is Nine Letters from a Millionaire. And it's about a grandfather who leaves nine letters but no money to his grandson. So in his first letter through a lawyer, this 20-year-old boy receives a package of letters. And in that, he said, sorry, I'm not going to give you any penny, but instead I'm going to give you nine letters. Go out and experience life. And this boy opens one letter after another, and each letter has a title. The first one says synchronicity. The second one, decision. The third one, action. By opening up one letter one by one, he gets guided by synchronicity, and a lot of fun thing happens. And they're talking about making a movie. So I'm very excited because that way, I'm a storyteller. So through my storytelling, people really get this. We are guided toward a happy life once we let it. And by looking at what's happening in our life, a lot of synchronistic events, if you pay more attention to it, life will be very different. So by just writing those books, I hope people will get it. Like you can have a totally different life. And that's why I'm here to do. I don't need any money anymore. I'm just here that more people will just free themselves from money or money related stress. So that way we can smile more at each other. We can be nicer to our family, friends, and co-workers, and potentially between countries, because now we know we don't have to fight any war to claim this land is yours or mine and stuff like that. We can all share, and that's what I hope for.
Well, I think that is absolutely amazing, and really a beautiful note because you are sharing so much, and I think that this thing that we call money, like you said at the beginning, is neutral energy, and it
Mhm.
can be our best friend or it can be our enemy. It depends how we treat it, and I think by loving it to a certain extent, I think yeah, like you say, it can attract good things if we're willing to or ready to receive. So there's some of the takeaways. Well, there's been so many different points, but I know I'm taking the giving and receiving. That is a huge one. Are there any other major I mean, that's really stuck for me, this whole
Mhm.
giving, receiving, letting go and surrender. uh, any other key takeaways from our conversation, Ken, that you think the audience should hear?
Life is to be enjoyed. So, don't get stuck in worries and, anxiety or fear. Just enjoy your life fully, because that's what you're going to remember at your senior home and when you when you're on a deathbed. So make memories, because life is to be enjoyed. So don't get stuck in worries. Just go out there, enjoy life.
Ken, where can people find out more about you? And we've mentioned the website, so we'll put the
Uh-huh.
links in. Is there
Sure,
anywhere?
sure. You can find all the information at kenhonda.com. And I'm going to start traveling around in Europe. I'll be in Sweden and Denmark and a few other places in Europe this next May. So hopefully I'll just go to London or other cities so I get to talk with you. I'll probably speak at the large event sometime next year in London. I don't know the dates yet, but that's what they're talking about. So hopefully in person, I love to see you one day.
Ken, I would love that. I would be so honored to meet you in person. And when that event, when you get the dates for that event, please let me know. I'll let our community know as well.
Thank you. I will.
Because one of my missions is to spread the good words and the good messages. Amazing people such as yourself. Thank you for tuning into the show. Please subscribe and share. That would really help me get these valuable messages out.